I'm Allyson, and I will be discussing adolescent pregnancy prevention in a three-tier approach as a necessity to the health and prosperity of United States residents. This presentation will demonstrate the need for prevention, including risks associated with finances, physical health, and psychological well-being. I will also outline a three-tiered action plan comprising of support, education, and outreach targeted at reducing adolescent pregnancy in our communities. The U.S. teen pregnancy rate is substantially higher than any other industrialized nation. In fact, among the top 5 wealthiest countries, in 2018, the United States had the highest rate of adolescent births at 18.8 births per 1,000 women between the ages of 15 and 19. When compared to other nations, such as China at 8 births, Japan at 4 births, Germany at 8 births, and India at 12 births per 1,000 women between the ages of 15 and 19, the United States has an alarmingly high teen birth rate. To fully understand the issue of teenage pregnancy in the United States, the racial and ethnic disparities must be discussed. While the overall teen birth rate is 18.8, the rate for women of color is almost double that of white women. In 2018, the teenage birth rate among white women between 15 and 19 years of age was 13.2 births per 1,000 women, while the rate for non-Hispanic Black women was 27.5. The rate for Hispanic women was 28.9, and the rate for American Indian and Alaskan Native women was the highest at 32.9 births per 1,000 women between the ages of 15 and 19. This drastic difference must be addressed directly to fully combat the issue of teenage pregnancy in the United States. It has been supported that culturally specific intervention for adolescent pregnancy prevention can combat this disparity. However, limited programs within this framework have been implemented. Adolescent mothers are at an elevated risk for multiple adverse life effects and occurrences. Speaking financially, they're less likely to graduate from high school and more likely to rely on public assistance. They're more likely to head a single-parent home, which severely impacts household income and aggravates household expenses. They're also more likely to be the parent of a child with behavioral issues or health complications. These added challenges have been shown to increase the need for services, further straining the finances of the household. Physically, adolescent pregnancies are more likely to result in preterm birth and children with low birth weight. Adolescent mothers are more likely to have complications during pregnancy and delivery. And in fact, complications during pregnancy and delivery are the leading cause of death for women aged 15 to 19 worldwide. Psychologically, pregnant and parenting teens suffer from stigmatization and judgment from the community. They suffer isolation from their peers and other parents, as they might find that they can no longer relate to either group of people. And adolescent mothers are also more likely to suffer from postpartum depression. These psychological stressors have been suspected to contribute to the elevated rate of substance abuse in adolescent parents compared to those who began parenting in their 20s or later on. This culmination of adverse experiences and occurrences creates additional challenges for both parent and child. As both parent and child are drastically affected by the increased risks of adolescent pregnancy, these challenges have been shown to contribute to the cyclical nature of adolescent pregnancy. The main risk factors for adolescent pregnancy include living in poverty, dysfunctional family patterns, and substance abuse in the home. Because adolescent pregnancy causes an increased risk of adverse life effects that have been associated with adolescent pregnancy, such as these main risk factors, children born to adolescent mothers are also more likely to experience these risk factors that increase their risk of becoming teen parents themselves. For example, adolescent mothers are more likely to head a single-parent home and to not graduate from high school. These experiences are also risk factors that can lead to poverty, and being raised in poverty increases the risk for adolescent pregnancy. For this reason, supporting pregnant and parenting teens is vital to the prevention of adolescent pregnancy in the long term. Here's the three-tier intervention. First, we will be focusing on supporting pregnant and parenting teens. There are a few such programs aimed at supporting at-risk and pregnant and parenting teens. Project Teach, or Project Teen Education and Child Health, is an example of one such program. It's an alternative educational opportunity for pregnant and parenting teens provided through New Jersey Department of Children and Families. Their mission is to provide a comprehensive educational program for pregnant and parenting adolescents to equip them with skills needed to create a positive life for themselves and their children. They offer specialized support, including daily childcare by professional daycare teachers, both free parents to focus on their education and to provide the children with an enriching daycare environment. Educational planning is flexible to accommodate schedule conflicts that parents may have, such as working or child illness. To combat financial strain, Project Teach provides supplies for the students' children, such as diapers, food, or clothing. Each student is also assigned a visiting nurse to monitor their pre- and postpartum care and act as a resource to health information for students and their children. They also offer career and college counseling to prepare students for post-graduation. Each student is required to take child development and parenting classes to support their parenting process and increase parental competency. As 25% of teenage mothers have a second child within 24 months of their first child, these classes provide in-depth sex education as well. This program runs year-round because adolescent parents need support and services year-round. Their needs don't stop just because it's the summer month. The Atlantic County branch of this program is proud to report a 100% completion rate, with every student achieving their high school diploma by the end of their time in the program. If more funds were available, this program could expand into a complete wraparound service program. They could provide individual counseling for students to combat their unique challenges being an adolescent parent. They could provide family counseling for students' families. They could provide all the supplies needed by the children, all the diapers, all the food, or they could provide other necessary supplies that the students might need, like school supplies or adult clothing. The program could also provide childcare outside of the school day to further support the social development of the students. And on-site medical care could be available so students could receive appropriate specified medical care that could be scheduled according to their unique situations. Organizations like Project Teach work to cut off the cycle of teenage pregnancy by addressing the needs of pregnant and parenting teens. Education of the masses can help prevent adolescent pregnancy by providing youth with quintessential information regarding the risks of pregnancy and providing them with tools to prevent unwanted pregnancies. To prevent unintended pregnancies, it has been supported that best practice prevention includes accurate and informative interventions targeted at behavior modification to empower students within a culturally relevant framework. These elements must be addressed to most effectively support students and prevent adolescent pregnancy. This practice can be and is being implemented by individual programs such as Teen Pregnancy Prevention and NJ Personal Responsibility Education Program, which provide comprehensive sex education to students through school-based intervention services. However, the issue comes from a lack of widespread support and appropriate legislation. Federal and state legislation does not require states to provide sex education of this quality, and in some states, the mandates directly outlaw education that meets these best practice standards. Currently, 29 states mandate sex education. Of these, only 17 states mandate that sexual health information be medically accurate. And where sex education is taught, even though it's not mandated, laws may still impact what must be or what must not be discussed. For example, 39 states require that abstinence be addressed, with 29 requiring abstinence to be stressed, and 10 requiring that it be discussed. On the other hand, only 20 states require that contraception be discussed. Furthermore, only 19 states require information to be disseminated regarding the risks of teenage pregnancy. Regarding the inclusive, culturally relevant information that best practice standards suggests makes sex education most effective in preventing pregnancy and educating students. Only 9 states mandate culturally appropriate, unbiased sex education. And in fact, 7 states require that only negative views can be taught regarding same-sex relationships. These outdated laws are endangering students, subjecting them to harmful misinformation, biased education, and shame associated with sexualities, gender expressions, and cultures that they may identify with. To impact this issue on a large scale, outreach is essential. Sexual wellness must be supported community-wide and be inclusive for all students. For this next part, feel free to play along. You may find that the information presented so far will lead you to the correct answer. It's called fact or fiction. The first statement is comprehensive sexuality education encourages youth to have sex. It's fiction. Research clearly demonstrates that comprehensive sexuality education programs can prevent adolescent pregnancy and even help young people delay sexual initiation. The next statement is abstinence only until marriage programs work. It's fiction. Going alongside the previous myth, abstinence only and abstinence stress programs have been shown to not only be less effective at delaying sexual activity, but are also less likely to help prevent teenage pregnancy and STI infections. All right. The majority of parents support the provision of comprehensive sexuality education by schools. It's a fact. It's been suspected that comprehensive sexuality education programs undermine parental or family values, and that parents would rather teach sex education at home or otherwise have their children learn about sex outside of the school. But through collection of poll data, it has been found that the majority of parents would rather the school provide comprehensive sex education for their children. Comprehensive sexuality education disregards values and morals. This myth has been supported because people who oppose diversity and inclusivity in sex education do not support comprehensive sexuality education. However, comprehensive sexuality education is inclusive of all students' values and morals. It's taught through an accepting and culturally sensitive framework. Teen birth rates are declining among all racial and ethnic groups. It's a fact. While this is a fact, teen birth rates are still alarmingly high for adolescents of color. Despite falling at more than triple the rate of their white counterparts, Hispanic teens, Black teens, and Native American teens still have almost twice the teenage birth rate of white teens. This progress can be supported through culturally specified interventions. This will be our last statement. All teen pregnancies are unintended. This is fiction. It's been found that among a sample of pregnant adolescents, about 30% reported that it just happened, and about 20% thought that they were being safe. However, an additional 30% wanted to have a baby. This information reveals that sex education needs to be comprehensive and includes the risks of teenage pregnancy, as well as behavior modification interventions to build up youth. Empowerment interventions have been shown to decrease intentional adolescent pregnancies by increasing the self-worth of female teens. The cycle of adolescent pregnancy can be replaced with an intergenerational expectation of accurate, empowering sex education in schools. By supporting groups that provide comprehensive sex education and supporting legislation that will mandate best practice sex education, gains can be made to empower American youth to prevent adolescent pregnancy and reduce teen birth rate. This is a non-exhaustive list of websites to find more information on how to offer support to prevent adolescent pregnancy. And here are my references to the information that I've provided through this presentation. Thank you for your attention and for your future contributions to ending the cyclical issue of adolescent pregnancy.